appointing authority and the designating authority, who is His Excellency the President.
Chairman.
Yes.
Chairman, it's not a question.
Yes.
It's a comment, just a comment, a brief one from Kenyans. They've asked that I tell the nominee that the young people, they are buying computers, mobiles, laptops, software. They're quite expensive, and they use it to make money through creative, you know, what they record and they share out there. And we already taxed them under the Finance Act 2023. They're asking you, please do not tax them any further, or don't propose any further taxes. And lastly, know about mental health challenges for our young people.
Yes, nominee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The rewards school rebates, yes, St. Patrick's High School, where I went, used to have this free scholarship for all the sports athletes. And they used to even to have a scholarship also for the volleyballers when we were doing very well. Schools should be able to have that kind of a scheme because their sportsmen promote the school, and they can be given scholarships with the board of management working together with the administration to make sure that they support the schools. What we can promise is that we should be able to push a policy where winners in regional, national, whatever are recognized. I don't know how CBC will work further beyond grade 9. Hopefully, even in the next stage, it's going to be able to integrate these sportsmen and women, or the girls and boys, to make sure that they are rewarded max for their performance in the field. I hope that can be done, and that's a policy decision that is in the Ministry of Education. As I said, it's a very important ministry in terms of working together with the sports department. Dongokundu Bridge will be opened soon. It's nearly complete. That is almost there. Sports integration of the refugees with local community, Mr. Speaker. A little bit of this is not in our ministry per se. That is the integration of the local community and the refugee. That is a decision that has to be made from the interior, from immigration, on the status of the refugee. But as you know, the refugees have a chance to also compete in Olympics.
Man called Osike was trying to link it to sports.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yes, Mr. Speaker. Then I understand what he was trying to do. On the National Youth Council, I spoke to it and I said that I am going to make sure that we do the elections from the grassroots level. On the question of taxes has been raised. Taxes is on gadgets and equipment and so forth. A GIRI program and Jitume, which is being run from the ICT ministry, had a plan around giving affordable gadgets to young people, including the hubs in the constituency. My proposal is that all these constituency-centered initiatives, community training grounds, Jitume hubs, sports academies, we should make sure that they are in one place, so that when we identify public land in one constituency, we put all these facilities in one place so that youth can benefit from all of them. On the mental health is a very serious issue, Mr. Speaker. Mental health is a very, very serious issue. In fact, mental health goes together with, we must, Mr. Speaker, put in place socio-psycho support. As I enumerated earlier, I've schooled here and abroad. In Kenya, you go to university from first year up to fourth year, you don't meet a counselor anywhere. You go through your problems. Students who lose their parents, they go bury a parent or a relative, they come back, they continue. Nobody talks to them. Nobody cares why their marks have dropped. We have a very, very rude and uncaring, crude actually, uncaring system of education. We must make sure that we put in place social cycle support in our learning institutions. On the sports part, Mr. Speaker, the federations must, and that was part of the recommendation from the Agnes Tirop, the committee that was formed after the Agnes Tirop unfortunate situation, that we must put in place social cycle support for all the athletes. We must also put in place a voluntary saving scheme through NSSF, so that when they are active, they can be able to save for them to support them later. Last, Mr. Speaker, there must also be we must find a way of reaching out to former athletes, boxers, footballers. We know our footballers who are suffering because of mental health. Even athletes, Mr. Speaker, some started with alcohol and then or drugs and then ended up, Mr. Speaker, in the situation they had. Some. Yes, the group of the boxers like Congestina, the football, I don't want to mention all their names, but I know them because I come from a county that has so many athletes. Mr. Speaker, you go to Iten or neighborhood, you will find former world beaters. Mr. Speaker, people who won marathons. Somebody sleeping in a trench, Mr. Speaker, drunk because of frustrations. Perhaps the little resources they got was swept away by parasites, Mr. Speaker, that come in form of women or relatives or neighbors. Mr. Speaker, their mental health.
Women are not parasites.
Mr. Speaker, as I said even earlier, even men are parasites. I said that earlier. I said some of our girls are being preyed on by men who pretend to be husbands.
So.
Mr. Speaker,
Lastly,
yes, Mr.
nominee, in case you are approved, for our athletes, I started a policy when I was in foreign affairs. World beaters like young Faith Kipyegon, Mora, and others. You should have a policy of giving them protocol services when they travel. Translators. You know, I remember one of our athletes, when she finished a marathon and had won, she was asked, how did you find the sport? She says, I just ran and kept running, and then God came into me, and I continued running, and I won. You know, if you give them support services, media, and there is nothing that outlaws speaking in mother tongue after you have won, as long as you have somebody next to you who can translate what you are saying to the world. So you should consider a policy of giving them that. Then lastly, under President Kibaki, there was a policy of rewarding our athletes who won medals in the Olympics and elsewhere. President Ruto started awarding those who get gold medals. Is it medals or break world records? Who break world records? We should also extend that to those who win gold medals, silver medals. You know, to some countries, even coming back with bronze is big business. It becomes a national celebration. So you should also have a policy of graduated rewards for these world beaters who bring glory to our country. Now, lastly, I'll ask you a few, those were just comments. But if you want to comment?
Something, Mr. Speaker, I think the biggest problem is that we don't